What's good, y'all? Shawn Reacts is in the building. Shawn Reacts is in the building. We trying something a little different. I never imagined trying it like this because, you not really see much of the video, but actually it looks pretty good in my end. So we're gonna do something a little different. Right now, we reacting to D'Lo Brown. His final run from this YouTuber Markyd123. I used to watch him a few months ago. He's a pretty good YouTuber. I used to like wrestling back in the day a lot. I did it before too. It's kind of fun. I really love it. I used to love WWE back in the day. My favorite wrestler was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 100%, hands down. He's the reason I got into it. So let's get this video popping, y'all.
Recognizes that growing up, D'Lo Brown was one of the Hawks guys. I just love this guy's charisma and wrestling style. I have pretty much covered his entire career in separate videos, but there is still just one period which I've yet to cover, and that is his dramatic fall. Now, you'd think that being forced to wear a turban, being jobbed out, and being openly mocked on TV each week would be the end. But actually it wasn't. After his failed team of low...
D'Lo Brown was so underrated. I don't care what nobody say. D'Lo Brown was low-key so underrated back then. He was a huge talent, in my opinion.
The other two guys were fired. He actually remained employed by the WWF throughout the invasion angle, although he didn't wrestle on telly for an entire year. It must have felt like his career was done after the Droz incident, the loss of his push, and a year spent being made to look dumb in a tag team. But no, the master of the lowdown was not finished. He was just resting, I guess. He spent some time down at developmental and time in Puerto Rico, but he does eventually return in the middle of 2002. And this run was bad. Bad. After watching this one, you're going to feel like you've taken a brick to the brain. But of course, if you know a wrestler who can do the JOB to the HAWK, shove their name down in the comments, Jack. Alright, it's D'Lo Brown. This is when he started to frown. Match 1, Raw, mixed tag.
I never knew that D'Lo Brown used to wear stuff like that. Damn, I didn't know he was like kind of weak.
Trish Stratus to D'Lo Brown, so I guess no big return. You just
D'Lo.
randomly here as Trish's partner.
Look
They
at
take
D'Lo.
on Crash Holly and Molly Holly, who doesn't even look related at this point. They're supposed to be cousins. D'Lo quickly hits a one-man flapjack and a slam. The shaky head leg drop gets him a 2, and he tags out. The commentary make fun of how large Molly's ass is. It's funny how that wasn't deemed as attractive back then. Shows how fashions change. That's why you should never get your body altered, because you might end up looking like a freak in a couple of decades. Think about all these grannies which are going to go around with PBLs. As you can tell, there isn't actually much to say about this match. D'Lo does get back in the ring and hits a spinning heel kick. He should have the match won with a wind-up slam, but Molly breaks the pin-up. Trish gets rid of her as Crash runs into a sky high for the 3. So not really a great...
D'Lo was so cold, yo.
I can't say there was anything here that made me excited for his future. He does look to have slimmed down a bit here though. It's a C from the Hawk. Match 2, Raw, 5 shows later. The leader of the Grey Crew screams, "Guys, you have 3 minutes and it better entertain me." So it's D'Lo Brown versus Shawn Stasiak, with neither guys getting entrances and looking like complete jobbers. D'Lo desperately beats up Meat with Bischoff standing on the ramp. D'Lo runs into a snap slam for a 2 as Bischoff screams, "Hurry up." D'Lo almost gets his own 3 of an inside cradle before getting a knee to the face. Stasiak starts putting on an armbar when Bischoff screams, "What the hell are you doing? Hurry up." He starts shaking his greasy grey hair everywhere and is upset that they haven't entertained him. So he sends Jamal and Rosie 3-minute warning to the ring to kill both of them. The beatdown is certainly more entertaining than the match. Well, this match was the biggest slap in the face of his career. Might as well give up now, isn't it? Match 3, Raw, 11 episodes later, non-title blindfold match. Triple H versus D'Lo Brown. Well, perhaps if
I used to love when he used to walk down like that and shake his head and stuff. Like, I used to love when he did that shit. D'Lo Brown was so goated. I wish he actually did more throughout his career. He had a good, not too bad career back with like Nation Domination and stuff like that. But I wish he did got a IC title run or a United States title. I think all he had was a European champion. I don't know if he had tag team champions. I wish he had a little bit more.
D'Lo could win this.
Well, hopefully you guys like the new setup and stuff.
Who am I kidding?
If not, I could make the screen a little bit bigger so you guys see more.
Can't even see anything. They quickly do the 2 ships passing in the night spot. They both miss a punch and the crowd roar with happiness. Triple H manages to find D'Lo and backs him into a corner when D'Lo runs off and the crowd just love Triple H telling the thin air off. D'Lo does manage to catch Triple H with a shut up or a smack you one punch before the game finds him again. Triple H attempts a pedigree which is reversed. Somehow Brown gets a 2 count. Out of nowhere Brown hits the sky high with Triple H rolling away to find Ric Flair. Flair charges into the ring which distracts the referee as the game removes his hood and hits D'Lo with the pedigree. That's the 3. What a pointless match.
I forgot how cut Triple H was back then.
Match 4, Raw, special referee Stacy Keibler. D'Lo Brown, who doesn't get an entrance versus Test. The referee is bent and she slaps D'Lo for no reason. Test aggressively gives D'Lo a beat down in the corner. D'Lo does manage to slip out of a full Nelson slam by dropping down and sort of kicking Test away. It doesn't look amazing. D'Lo keeps screaming, "Get your ass up now," as he does punches, which does actually get a good reaction from the crowd. He hits the scoop slam into the shaky head leg drop, but again the referee is bent. But bent in the right way.
Damn.
I get too distracted.
Stacey Keibler was bad back in the day, yo.
D'Lo hits the sky high as Stacey chooses this moment to tie up her shoelace. Brown isn't happy. He turns around into a big boot and Test wins. Poor D'Lo. I really felt sorry for him in this one. He's still trying to get the crowd going despite this situation being hopeless. It's indeed. Match 5, Raw. D'Lo Brown, who doesn't get an entrance versus Batista. Man, I forgot just how menacing Batista's old music was. D'Lo jumps in before the bell. And it doesn't help though. Batista throws him overhead. He quickly picks him back up and nails a Green Bay plunge. D'Lo desperately throws punches now until Batista shows him how it's done. Another one in the...
Yo, Batista looks so intimidating. I used to love old Batista. Especially when he went on his solo run and became World Heavyweight Champion. Oh my goodness.
The corner makes D'Lo fill his nappy with fear. Batista hits a spinebuster and a powerbomb and it's over in just 1 minute.
Damn.
D'Lo being Eurocontinental Champion feels a very, very long way away at this point, isn't it? Match 6, Raw, tag match. Christopher Nowinski and D'Lo Brown versus Al Snow and Maven. D'Lo doesn't start because he isn't viewed as important anymore. D'Lo gets in against the Snowman who starts arm dragging him straight away. Maven has the tag. He has nothing interesting except a hip toss. D'Lo and Nowinski get on top through cheating. Yeah, D'Lo is just a heel now for some reason. He does a funny version of his leg drop where he's annoyed that the crowd aren't cheering him anymore. Snow gets the tag and they're screwed now.
So he made D'Lo a heel?
Body drop and trapping headbutts that make D'Lo's head shake even more than usual. The match breaks down. And
that's kind of weird.
D'Lo Brown hits the sky high for the 3. Wow, I can't believe he actually won a match in this period. Match still sucked, isn't it? Match 7, Raw. Jeff Hardy versus D'Lo Brown. It doesn't start well for the master of the lowdown. Jeff quickly head scissors him out the ring and follows it by running off the crowd barrier into a diving clothesline. D'Lo slowly gets the advantage with some boring offense. He keeps screaming something about "it's the fault of people like Jeff." D'Lo hits a big front suplex for a 2 count. He's now on the verge of filling his back.
Yo, there's a low he did that.
He's too distracted screaming at Jeff, who hits a jawbreaker followed by the whisper in the wind. Jeff does that cool leg drop pin, but it's just a 2. Once again, the match heads out of the ring. Jeff tries to run off the ref's back to hit a dive, but he sort of stumbles. He brings D'Lo back to the ring by hitting the Swanton Bomb for the 3. D'Lo's foot is on the rope. This does actually start a storyline for him though, because he gets hot at the referee, blaming the ref's decision on racism. It's a D. D'Lo Brown's gimmick change continues. He's now a walking...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where the hell is this coming from? Look at his fit. But where the fuck, like, this is how you know they didn't have plans for him. It was like he was just there for no reason. Because I used to not like when they used to do that with wrestlers and stuff like that, because some people have their own gimmicks and shit, you feel me? And y'all do stuff like this. I don't like stuff like that.
Stereotype. He tried to get Stacey to be his manager and wants her to appreciate his new catchphrase, which is "down with the Brown." Why does D'Lo keep ending up with these awkward gimmicks? He is not a street guy. He's a well-educated man. Match 8, Raw. Test versus... Now that is a horrible attire for D'Lo. It just doesn't look right on him. Stacey laughs at him and the crowd chant "D'Lo sucks." The match starts with lots of shoving and mind games. D'Lo is smarter than Test, gets him to chase around the ring and then cuts him off across the ropes. D'Lo sends Test into the steps now. Okay, this is actually interesting. D'Lo is actually looking like a threat for the first time in this video. Test tries to get back into the ring, but as the rope's pulled into his nutsack and his testicles. D'Lo works an ab stretch now whilst using the rope for assistance. The ref stops him and Test hip tosses him away. He can't nail the pump handle slam and D'Lo hits a spine buster for a 2. Test now fights off another submission, but can't fight off the back suplex. D'Lo heads to the middle rope, but misses his diving ass drop. First high risk move of this video, which has surprised me. This is a hard hitting matchup. D'Lo slips away from the full Nelson slam, but seconds later he's hit with one anyway, so he shouldn't have bothered. Test nails the pump handle slam and it should be over, but D'Lo gets his hand on the rope. D'Lo escapes the big boot, but wastes time begging Stacy to be his manager. D'Lo sends Test into the ring pole and makes a cover with his feet on the ropes. The ref catches him in the act, which enrages D'Lo. He eventually knocks the ref over, causing a DQ finish. Wow. This new gimmick was actually built up pretty well here and it felt important. Shaby couldn't win a match, but I guess they want to make him even angrier before they start giving him some wins. It's a C, I actually enjoyed this.
Look at D'Lo.
Match 9 Raw. Later that same night, D'Lo heads to the ring to cut a promo. He's still got his old music and it's far too cheerful for his miserable face. This feels incredibly welcome, but random. D'Lo immediately swears and complains about the way the last match ended. He demands a winner takes all match for Stacy Keibler. Winner takes all.
I was one of those stories.
What does Test get if he wins?
So it's one of them storylines. Let me get your manager if I win. I never used to like those storylines.
Bobblehead? So Test rushes to the ring and crashes into Stacy. D'Lo takes advantage on the outside, looking like a street fighting Eddie Kingston. The crowd are all over D'Lo. Is this actually working? D'Lo hits a nice spinebuster on Test for a 2. D'Lo can't make Test tap out though. He now fights off the pump handle slam and nails a back suplex for another 2. Randomly, D'Lo Brown tries
so
a moonsault. His incredibly random move misses. I'm calling this random because he's wrestled a grounded style for this whole video so far. Test smacks D'Lo with some punches with fire behind them. He hits the back body drop and some impactful clotheslines in the corner. Test does hit the pump handle again, with D'Lo getting his hand on the rope again. For some reason, D'Lo gets distracted by Stacy on the outside. He stomps around after her for ages. He eventually stops stomping, but now Test starts stomping with the biggest of big boots to his jaw. Test wins. Why? I enjoyed it, but D'Lo basically lost both of these matches when it felt like a win was desperately needed here. It's a D. Match 10, Raw. Tag match. Test and Maven tag up to take on D'Lo Brown and Kristen Nowinski. Not this team again. I guess this is the feud which keeps on giving.
Wait a minute. He was just dressed like a street person. Now he's in ring gear again. See, like they were lost. They didn't know what the fuck to do with D'Lo. He was just there.
This match starts out a complete mess, with the heels just double teaming Test before there's a chance to build any heat. D'Lo is hit off the apron time and time again. He does get in with Maven. This crowd have decided they won't accept D'Lo as a heel and they happily chant his name. D'Lo hits the spinebuster before Nowinski blind tags back in as D'Lo is suplexed. He comes back in with a clothesline. Man, this match is slow. D'Lo connects for scoop slam and applies an abdominal stretch. The YouTube sensation fights out of that and manages to tag Test. He's a real hawk on fire and he hits a turtle wheel slam on D'Lo. Nowinski helps D'Lo avoid a pump handle before he's smacked down. Test still can't finish D'Lo off the big boot with Test getting hung up on the ropes. D'Lo hits the sky high on Maven, but the ref refuses to count and says D'Lo is not the legal man. Like a dumbass, D'Lo argues with the ref for ages. Then he argues with Stacy and eventually turns around into a big boot for the 3. These matches involving D'Lo and Test all felt the same. Why bother having a new character if he's just going to lose? Fans just want to see D'Lo having fun at the other times. This isn't going to work if you just have him lose to Test time and time again. Not very impressive, D.
He lost Test like 5
11, Raw,
times.
Singapore Cane match. Tommy Dreamer. Wow, horrible reaction for Tommy versus D'Lo Brown. Oh, D'Lo has finally managed to get Stacy off his mind as he has a new manager in Teddy Long. Teddy says D'Lo was excluded from the Royal Rumble and blames racism for that. He says
Oh, it's one of those storylines again about racism and I didn't get the same opportunity type shit. And wow, for Teddy Long was GM.
Took D'Lo's place in the Rumble because he's white. From now on, they're going to show every wrestler that they need to get down with the Brown. D'Lo doesn't say too much here, but what he does say is hilarious.
Free at last! Free at last! Free the Cane, a white boy's ass!
Anyway, it doesn't start well for D'Lo as Tommy sends him into the ring. D'Lo dumps his nappy of fear but can't hide because Dreamer baseball slides him on the outside and follows it for diving cane shot. He misses his next one and D'Lo hits a clothesline. Once again, this crowd are all over D'Lo. I wish they could make their minds up. I keep thinking, this could actually work, but they don't want to fully get on board with it. D'Lo is vicious with his cane shots and he also slams Dreamer on the cane. D'Lo Brown certainly knows how to swing a cane. The commentary team keeps saying how disgusting it is. Well, what do you expect him to do in a Kane match? Tommy Dreamer comes back with Kane shots of his own and what appears to be a knockout blow. It's not though, and Tommy leg drops the Kane into D'Lo, but it's still not over. Dreamer hits a DDT, and once again D'Lo looks finished, but he isn't. Tommy tries another diving shot as D'Lo wakes up and canes him in the gut. The Kane assisted Sky High gets D'Lo Brown the free. I did enjoy this one. A welcome win. It's a C.
Finally, D'Lo won.
Match 12, the Hurricane versus D'Lo Brown. The Hurricane wants to chain wrestle, but D'Lo just smacks him one. He hits the spinning heel kick, which we just haven't seen that much in this video. He starts clubbing the Hurricane in the back time and time again. Hurricane fights off an ab stretch with an arm drag, but he can't fight off the swinging side slam. Just a 2 for D'Lo. He moves on to try a powerbomb, which is countered into Hurricanrana. It almost went wrong. The Hurricane hits an edge-o-matic for a 2. A head scissors now from him sends D'Lo from the ring, and he follows it with a flip dive. The Superman brings him back to the ring for Springboard Oklahoma roll for a 2. D'Lo just can't land a blow on him. Until he does, the Sky High powerbomb for the 3. We are reliably informed that this move has now been renamed to the Fade to Black.
That's my favorite finisher. One of my favorite finishers. D'Lo's finisher was so cold. Cause a lot of people never really did it. A lot of powerhouses and shit. But D'Lo, he hit that move perfectly every time. I loved it.
Really struggled here. Almost lost multiple times. It was a fun match, but the booking is all wrong. It's a C. Match 13, Maven versus D'Lo Brown. Maven out-wrestles the veteran for a while, further demonstrating this bad booking. This goes on for a couple of minutes. D'Lo eventually lands a knee to the gut to calm down Maven. We get a new move from D'Lo with a backbreaker for a 2 count. The crowd sound bored, they keep groaning. Maven starts firing up and hits a nice jumping spin kick for a 2. Couple more pinning attempts from Maven now. Maven also hits a middle rope bulldog. He looks for a top rope dive, but can't land the missile dropkick, and the Fade to Black from D'Lo Brown ends it. Somewhere, Kazarian is dumping in his nappy of anger. It just wasn't impressive, and the crowd hated it. Teddy asked the audience to chant, "Down with the Brown," as one person desperately holds up a sign. It's a D. Match 14, Booker T versus D'Lo Brown. A win here would really help against an established star. Teddy wants Booker T to get down with the Brown, but he won't do it. Booker makes very short work of D'Lo, who can only manage to hit one spinning heel kick. Booker beats him in just 1 minute with a spin kick and the scissors kick. A really poor attempt to make D'Lo's heel turn work. Well, this was actually the end of D'Lo in the WWE for now. Teddy Long had D'Lo Brown replaced by Rodney Mack. That didn't go great either. D'Lo headed off to TNA where he had a stop-start run with the company.
Oh, so that's how he ended up getting the TNA. So they fake injure him to get him out of there. So they basically let him go. Okay. But that would seem like the route they was going with anyway. But yo, Marky D, man, it's a talent. I love watching his videos.
Mixed bag. Some of it was great, other bits not so much. Despite D'Lo's final few years floundering in the WWE, they then made the strange decision to rehire D'Lo in 2008. And if that heel run that you've just witnessed left you dashing to the toilet, you're about to spew your guts up all over your mum's basement. Match 15, Raw, Santino Marella versus D'Lo.
Oh shoot, that is when I stopped watching WWE for a little bit. I did stop watching in like 07, 08. But I had the game. But I never knew D'Lo was bad.
Brown. He gets a very disappointing reaction on his return. D'Lo somehow looks old and young at the same time. It goes about 1 minute. D'Lo wins with a basement clothesline and then he hits the very first low down frog splash of this entire video. Not much to say, except this wasn't really the high energy performance.
He do look old and young at the same time. I'm looking at it. He do look old and young. That's wild.
Needs to get the crowd back on side. Nice to see the lowdown though. It's a D.
He's like the opposite of a baby.
Mixed tag. Kelly and D'Lo Brown versus Glamourella. This is the definition of the drizzling shit. Why did they bother bringing D'Lo back for this rubbish? It's just a comedy match. I did like D'Lo doing a roll into a clothesline, but there's precious little to be happy with here. Santino hits him with a springing net breaker. Santino hits him with a swinging net breaker, but he's too weak to pick D'Lo up. Beth then tags in, and she is strong enough to lift D'Lo, but she still can't do anything, and Kelly gets the tag. Santino smacks D'Lo off the apron and rolls her up for the 3. Shocking.
That was it?
Match 17, Intercontinental title match. The champions Santino Marella versus D'Lo Brown. The only title match of this entire video, so it shows just how far D'Lo has fallen. D'Lo seems a bit more motivated here, and he quickly hits a spinning heel kick and a suplex. Santino dodges the middle rope drop kick and hits a running knee for a 2. D'Lo recovers and hits a slam into the leg drop. This crowd are actually excited to see D'Lo now. He wants to hit the lowdown, but Beth Phoenix climbs into the ring to stop him. D'Lo tells her to get to stepping. She slaps him, and then the ref throws the match out for DQ. This just makes D'Lo look weak, because all he did was get slapped. It wasn't like it was some crazy move which was going to affect the outcome of a match. D'Lo is a bad loser too, and rightfully so, which hints that maybe this feud isn't over. God help her. This and that. Match 18, Santina Marella. The Honka Meter IC title run is a real guilty pleasure of mine. It's a non-title match though, once again against D'Lo Brown. I thought there would be nothing worth seeing here, and I was almost right. D'Lo gives us a brand new move though with the Shining Wizard, but he misses his follow-up lowdown and Santino just rolls him up in 1 minute. What a horrible final run of matches. Santino waited like 15 seconds to roll him up.
Wait, what was the reason of him competing with him for the IC champion just to lose to him in a minute? Doesn't make any sense. All the matches that he had that he lost kind of low-key been like a minute. Like, it's stupid. I don't like stuff like that.
Up too. Match 19, final match. Thank God it's coming to an end. D'Lo Brown, who doesn't get an entrance, but they did fly him out to the UK for this match, which seems very pointless in hindsight. He takes on Mike Knox on his Raw debut. It literally just goes 30 seconds. Knox hits the big boot and the overdrive for the 3. Game over. I have heard reports that later on this UK tour, D'Lo Brown turned heel, so maybe they had something else in store for him, but that never came to fruition on telly. So that was a pointless WWE hire, but at least D'Lo got paid for a year and didn't have to do much. After this, it was off to Japan. D'Lo has actually wrestled a hell of a lot in Japan. He also had one final short run with TNA, and that was it for his mainstream wrestling career. Now I'll keep this short and sweet or you'll knock out my teeth. The heel D'Lo did have some potential. It was honestly refreshing, although it did feel a bit awkward at times. I think I just wanted something new for him. It felt like one show they tried really hard with him and then they just gave up. He didn't get enough wins to be taken seriously as a threat. There wasn't any matches over 5 minutes, there wasn't any pay-per-view matches either, so we didn't get to see what he was still capable of in the ring. He was regularly made to look stupid and incompetent. What a way for one of my childhood heroes to go out. Sad. Go eat some salt. I don't know if I'm being overly kind here, but I can't bear to shove D'Lo in the shove-it zone, so he's getting a low D.
Damn.
As the Hawk becomes soft, I don't know, ask you.
Poor
Bill.
D'Lo.
But one thing's for sure, this run made me hurl, and if you don't agree with that, I'll chop off your hand like Merle.
Like, man, I'm rating this video here, man. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in and subscribing. But I always didn't like how wrestlers has established like a pretty good career, kind of. And it sucks that they come back, they return, they say it's still got it, they come back in and they just ruin, like, and they just have their career messed up. I don't like stuff like that because it's not, you say you got yourself established and you just come back and just fucked your career up, like Goldberg. He wasn't that cold. I don't really like Goldberg, but he went in titles at age of 50 for no apparent reason for 3 minutes. It's kind of annoying. But I never really like stuff like that. But I hope y'all really enjoyed the video. I hope y'all like the new setup I'm trying with the reaction videos. If y'all want to need the screen a little bit bigger, I can definitely make that happen, of course, for y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new, and we're out.